Good day, everyone. Yeah, welcome to my YouTube channel at SMD Executive Academy. I remain Ahmed, the beloved of the summer. Today, in this video, we'll be explaining these two types of chemical reaction, which we call the exothermic reaction and the endothermic reaction. Normally, from the word exo, what does it mean? It means outside. When we say exo, it means the external. When we say thermo, when you hear the word thermo in science, when you hear the word thermo or thermal, it means heat. So when I say exothermic reaction, so we are considering three factors in this thing. We'll be considering the system, we'll be considering the surroundings, and we'll be considering the heat energy. So in this case, exothermic reaction is a type of reaction in which the system supplies heat or evolves heat or gives us heat to the environment or the surroundings. Do we get that now? So if heat is supplied to the surroundings, definitely means that the system producing the heat to the surroundings has more heat content than the surroundings. So what do we call heat content in this particular topic? Heat content is that simple word we call the enthalpy. The heat of enthalpy, we'll call it the enthalpy. So the enthalpy is the heat content of a particular system. So the heat is supplied to the environment. Definitely the source producing the heat, or we'll say the system producing the heat will be hotter than the surroundings. So when the heat is given off to the surrounding, that type of reaction is called an exothermic reaction. So when we say endothermic reaction, in the case of endothermic reaction, from the word endo means inside. Then when we hear the word thermal or thermo, it simply means heat. So when heat is absorbed from the surrounding to the system, then that is called endothermic reaction. If heat is absorbed from the surrounding to the system, it simply means that from the surroundings, that's where the heat is coming from. That is, the source of the heat is from the surrounding. So if the source of the heat is coming from the surrounding, definitely means that the surrounding has to be hotter than the system. So when the heat gets to the system, it's just a little from the surroundings, which of the it's just a little content of heat from the surrounding that will get to the system. So if we are to calculate or we find the enthalpy change is just simply the difference between the heat of the product and heat of the reactant. So between the product and reactant, that is between the system and the surrounding. For the enthalpy change of endothermic reaction, we have always known that the endothermic reaction enthalpy change is always positive. What's the reason? Let's check out that. If the endothermic enthalpy change of endothermic reaction, we want to get that. The only way we can get that is to say that the heat content of the product minus the heat content of the reactant. We have known that for endothermic reaction, the surrounding used to have more heat content than the content of the reactant. Used to have more, it used to be greater than the heat content of the reactant. So thereby, if you say enthalpy change is product minus heat of product minus heat of the reactant, then we can say that since the surrounding is the product and the reactant is the system. So knowing fully well that the heat of the environment or the surrounding is greater, then if you subtract that, you can definitely have positive. That's why we'll say the enthalpy change for endothermic reaction is positive. In the other sense, for exothermic reaction, the enthalpy change for endothermic reaction is always negative. In which case is that, let's say that the heat of the product minus the heat of the reactant, that is the enthalpy of the product minus the enthalpy of the reactant. So how do we get that now? Since we have known that exothermic reaction is the kind of reaction whereby the system is giving heat to the environment or the surroundings. So the system we have more heat content compared to the surrounding. So if you subtract that, definitely we have a negative. So if you say product minus reactant, then negative. So in every chemical reaction, when you find a chemical reaction, a kind of question, and you're seeing an enthalpy change of that reaction to be positive, definitely you can easily dictate by saying that that reaction is what is endothermic reaction. But in another case, if you find a kind of chemical reaction and the enthalpy change is negative, definitely you can dictate and say that, okay, confirmly that, okay, fine, this kind of reaction is what? The kind of reaction is exothermic reaction, is negative. I hope you enjoyed this video. Kindly share if you really enjoy, and subscribe.